Here's what makes this movie for me. The dynamic between Bond and Scaramanga is just brilliant. I love that the Scaramanga does not need to kill Bond. There's no need there. There's a competitive nature between the two that drives them towards each other, that makes Scaramanga want to battle Bond. There's no need at any point, you know. I love that dynamic between them. I love the dynamic between Nack and Scaramanga. I love that relationship. He almost acts like he wants to kill Scaramanga.
It's such a weird relationship. It's like loving, but he also he would gain by having Scaramanga killed, but it's like Scaramanga has enough confidence that he never will be killed, and that pushes Nack harder to try to kill him. Yeah. But there's this affection there. Like it's such an interesting interplay between them. It is completely unique. Like that whole, and that's my whole hook, right? I mean, we have talked so much about Goodnight, and I don't give a about Goodnight. I just, when she's around, I mean, and like as far as like on the superficial end of things, like she's one of the more unattractive Bond girls. But whatever. She doesn't weigh in on the decision for me. And everything we've talked about and how to improve this movie, it's all interesting. But like my whole thing with like McCurdy last time when we would talk about like you would say it might have been better if we hadn't seen Scaramanga for a while, like we didn't see his face, if they'd have hidden his face. But like saying that, like that's cool, like oh that's a cool idea, but yeah, but it's not like saying that automatically means that what they did is bad. Like when I would say, hey, this is how they could have improved the prologue of Secret Service, it's because I think the prologue sucks. It's because I think that with very obvious steps they could have improved it. But like the prologue for this movie is awesome. Can it be improved? Yeah, anything can be improved. But hiding his face doesn't automatically mean it would be better.
I don't think it's objectively better though. And you're like telling me like, oh, Goldfinger's, it's better than Goldfinger's because it has something to do with the plot. I'm like, sure, but also Goldfinger sets up the character of James Bond, who he is, how he acts,
which we had already done for 2 films. Like
in this new, and for anybody who's going into the movie, you're like, okay, cool. Like he's James Bond. We understand he uses his cunning. He has gadgets at his disposal. Like, I don't think that you can just completely disregard that. And just because it's like, oh, but we see Scaramanga in his fun house and how he kills these guys. And it's like, it's set up for the end of the movie. I'm like, cool, that's great. But to me, it's not like, oh, this is so much better than Goldfinger's. I'm like, it's fine, but it's not great.
It's a preference thing, sure. I'm not saying that Goldfinger's prologue is bad, but for that film, it's irrelevant. Like the prologue is irrelevant to the story.
If I'm quoting Charlie Myers here, though, it's like, what did you say? You said, I'm always going to go for the more serious Bond film. I'm always going to go, and this one doesn't do that for me. It
but
just
Goldfinger
seems very
is goofy. Goldfinger is not that serious.
This movie is very goofy.
They're both made by the same guy, and the guy made Diamonds Are Forever.
This one is much more goofy. Save what you want to say for Scaramanga. Are you serious?
Not that much.
Flying cars, a midget, a carnival funhouse.
So
all these
little people are goofy. You had something against little people. I mean,
it's a goofy thing to be like, yeah, we're gonna put a midget in the movie. Cool.
Yeah, but
or
why?
A little person, whatever you want to say.
Like, it's a goofy thing to have a Korean wrestler who throws a hat. I mean, who throws a hat? Really, honestly. Man? Honestly. Like it's like
even though he throws a hat, though, it's like he is still a adversary for Bond. Like he still fights Bond hand to hand versus a guy who's just a little person who gets thrown into a suitcase.
Nack is controlling a fun house, trying to get him killed. It's a hunt. It is a hunt. Like, dude, like had him and Scaramanga just gone punch for punch, it would have been boring.
And then it's like, Deus Ex Machina, there so happens to be a James Bond mannequin in his thing, and then it's like, why does Scaramanga have a James Bond figurine in his house?
Because he's obsessed with being top dog. That's what the whole movie is about. It's about him having a man crush on Bond.
And then that even adds to the whole like plethora of what we talked about in Diamonds Are Forever, where it's like, is James Bond a celebrity now? Do people know who James Bond is?
Dude, he's a fucking assassin. He would know who Bond is. People in Playboy knowing who he is stupid. We agree that that's stupid. Scaramanga would absolutely know who Bond is because the whole movie is about reputation. The whole fucking movie is about reputation, dude.
He counts on his reputation to terrify his intended victim.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Obviously, it's about reputation, and everybody within that shadow world, they know about each other, especially having these like long careers. Bond knows about Scaramanga because he should. Scaramanga knows about Bond because he should. You and me walking down the fucking street shouldn't know who these people are. So yes, he has a mannequin of Bond because he wants that top dog.
I love Bond versus Scaramanga. I love that dynamic. I love how it's played throughout the film. I love Nack versus Scaramanga. I love that dynamic. That he wants to kill him. He doesn't want to kill him. He's sad in the end when he kills him. Or it's because Bond blew up his entire inheritance.
There's that too, yeah.
There's one of the two.
He gets the jump.
I still, you can still tell there's a respect between the two.